Morning. Realise you're looking at an empty craft desk there. Who's there this morning? So we're looking at fairy hugs today. We've got some shows tomorrow with fairy hugs on the craft store. 9 AM and 1 PM. So I hope you can tune in. The bundles are already on the craft store to have a look at. I'm not sure if you can purchase them yet though. Let me just have a look for you. We've got Hayley for both of the shows tomorrow. I always press the wrong button on this. Quick look. No, then the stock isn't loaded yet, so you can't actually order yet. But you can actually see what's in the bundles. I'm not sure if the prices that are on there at the moment are the prices that are going to be on the shows tomorrow or not. You can also purchase them on my website as well. The only stamp that I don't have is the Path of Knowledge, because that wasn't in stock when I did my last order at Fairy Hugs HQ. But hopefully I'll have it maybe next week, hopefully before Christmas, which would be really good. So is nobody saying hello yet? Can't see any comments. How are we all doing? So we're going to use the jelly plate today, and I'm going to be working through quite a few different techniques. Michelle did ask about using the 4-inch round jelly plate, so I thought we'd start with a quickie using that, and then we'll do, I don't know, 3 or 4 different techniques or different samples. So we'll just see how we get on for time. Okay, so let's make a start, and obviously anybody that's joining in can, hi Chrissy, can just watch it on catch up or on the Facebook page. It's always there, and I always put them onto YouTube as well. So let's make a start. So I've taken, this is a piece of watercolour card, the super smooth watercolour card from Sentimentally Yours, and I've cut it in half and then folded it in half, and I've actually chopped it down so it's actually 5 inches tall. So it's 5 by 4 1/8 in inches, just because I don't want one that's quite full A6 to work on. So I've popped my 4-inch round jelly plate onto an acrylic block, and the jelly plate is actually in stock on my website. You can see I've got a little bit of a rope print on there. That's VersaFine Clear. Don't do that. If you want to have a cleanish jelly plate, don't use VersaFine Clear on it. So, colours. I'm going to go with Distress Ink, and I think, what are we putting on it? Let's go for blue colour, and we could go for one of the new ones actually, couldn't we? Oh, decisions, what have I got here? Yeah, let's go for Salvage Patina. Let's go for one of the newer ones. So I'm using regular Distress Ink rather than oxide, because I prefer stamping on top of regular Distress rather than oxide. So just put a little bit of ink onto your jelly plate, and we're just going to move it around with our brayer, and I'm using the very squeaky Sentimentally Yours 4-inch brayer, just to move the ink around. Oh, squeak, 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 squeak. Let's add a little bit of sparkle, and there's plenty of ink left on there, because if we were to kind of clean that off onto a piece of card, not onto a piece of copy paper, you can see that there's actually loads of ink on there, so you could start off a new background with that. Remember to clean it off if you're going to do another jelly plate background, if you're going to use a different colour. So that's nice and safe on there. We won't worry about that getting dry or anything, drying out, because it won't. And let's add a couple of little splodges to it. Put a little bit of water onto my craft sheet, and we'll pick it up with a brush, which escapes me as to where it is. That one will do. And brush, and just give it a tap. Always a mystery as to what's going to happen with it. You can, if you want to, use your luscious powders or a bit of mister, or pop a different colour ink on and add water to that and splat that on, whatever you want to do. Or of course you can stamp in the background as well, which is quite a nice thing to do, but we're just going to do it as is. And let's go, we'll open it out, I think. Let's go off the page slightly. Sometimes that's a nice thing to do. And just give it a press. Squeaky desk as per. Oh, my bones, yeah, definitely. And then we've got our little background. Remember to clean that off, like I say, because you've got ink on there. Right, so now we're going to do a little bit of stamping. So let's go into our platform. We're using the Press to Impress, and we butt it right up into the corner. And there are, on the shows, there are quite a varied amount of stamps on there from the past year, I suppose, and including some from the book-themed ones. And we're going to use Zuli, who is one of the big dragons. You could use Magu. Magu's on the show as well. Going to have him so that he's sitting over here. I'm not worried about if there's a little bit of him coming off the page. Sometimes that's quite good because it gives you a little bit of movement. So he's going to be like that. So we're going to stamp him in Nocturne, which is the black Fine Claret. Lots of tapping. I like the dragons. I love all my fairy hug stamps. Not many people with us today. Do you think that's because everybody's Christmas shopping before all the new rules come in? Still, it gives me more samples for my shows tomorrow, doesn't it? Even though I am still knee-deep in my prep for my studio light shows next week. There's a heck of a lot of dies on next week. And I'm busy at the weekend, so I'm going to struggle to get everything done, I think. We're going to just make him a bit darker. Remember, they're silhouette stamps. Don't expect to always get it right first time. Do use a juicy ink pad. Morning, Annette. There's not many everyone. Don't know what it is about this morning. What day is it? It's Thursday, isn't it? What's on the telly? Oh, All and Crate are on the telly, aren't they? Janet's on. Maybe that's what it is. Okay, so there he is, coming off of the page, looking good. Select. Yeah, absolutely. I'll go with that. The best. The best. Okay. They're really good quality photopolymer stamps. I know a lot of people have started collecting fairy hugs now, and if you've got any fairy hugs, you know that the quality's there, which is always really good. So that's Zuli. And so I'm going to use the Moondust stamp, but the moon, some of you might know, I've got two of these. I've got one I've cut up into 3 parts, which is the one I'm going to use. So one I've got this section, it's easy to show you. I've got a section with the moon and 2 stars. I've got a section with just a star, and then I've got this kind of dust section here as well. And then I've got one that's complete. I quite like this. I quite like to have just one where we've got the dust. So he's going to be kind of releasing the dust. Or, in fact, we could use the fairy wind, which is what I was going to do, I think. I think I might use the fairy dust on the next piece. But, you know, we've got choices, and it's nice to see the choices. So he could be holding the fairy wind like that as well, and sending that out. And as I haven't used the fairy wind in one of my samples yet for this show, I think we'll use the fairy wind and send that blowing like so. I'll put the Moondust away for now. The danger is I use the Moondust on absolutely everything. You know, when you've got your favourite stamp and you just use that to death. It's like my favourite background technique. I'm still on the Distress Oxide Spray technique because it's so easy, so quick and easy. I've done it loads of times on lives, and it's just so effective, and it's always different. I've just treated myself to all the colours, well, not all of them, nearly all the colours of the oxide sprays. So you can imagine how many backgrounds I'm going to be doing now. Get that press. There we go. So the fairy wind's whooshing out of him. You're so funny, Chrissy. I'm supposed to be going to a supper club on Sunday, but we've got to do lateral flow tests before we go. So I'm hoping that's all right. Never done one of those before, so there's my fairy wind. And then very quickly to finish this off, because this is a very simple card. I mean, I would add, I probably would add a little bit of colour to his wings. I like adding a little bit of colour to his wings, so I'd tone it in with different colour blues, and I use my watercolour blending brush pens for that. But it's optional, you don't have to if you don't want to. So because this is a proper card, we're going to bring out the birthday wishes, and we're going to put a birthday wish for you just at the top there. Let's have a look, see if we've got that straight ish. Right. Oh, crash, bang, wallop. Tap within an inch of its life. Do our sentiment at the top. Okay, so there we go. There's our first card, all made. Very easy. No worries. Easy peasy. Nothing difficult about that, is there? Not a fairy in sight. I like the fact that with fairy hugs you can have fairies or not fairies. So, you know, you can, like the post I put up today, the journal page has just got, I'll show you in a sec, has just got a fawn and a doe in it, and the bridge. Where is it? Oh, bang, wallop. Where are we? Not that one. That one there. So there's no fairies there on there. There's a fairy nest, but you know. Oh yeah, that's yeah. It's nice to have glitter to the wings, absolutely. So yeah, so you can have fairies or not fairies with fairy hugs, which I absolutely love. So let's do another one while we're on it. Let's go for it, shall we? Where's my other one? Let's do another one with the jelly plate. And because I haven't cleaned my jelly plate, we're going to use salvage patina again. And just put a little, we're going to do the same thing. A little bit of salvage patina. Again, I haven't cleaned my brayer, so we can use the same brayer, same colour. And this time, let's splatter a different colour ink on top. See what that looks like. So, what have we got? We'll go with blue, 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 blue. Let's have a bit of brown. And let's go for a bit of vintage photo. Mix that with water. Now I must remember I've got to clean my brush when I do this afterwards. Don't flick near your card, just in case it goes on your card. You can't see how many you're doing until you print it, which is really cool. Clean that afterwards, Julia. Right, let's print this. It's wet. This is a slightly long, this is a true A6 card, this one. And let's pop this, let's get it all on, I think. And you see we've got a little bit of brown coming through instead. Just a little bit different. Not a lot, just a little. And let's start our stamping. Reverse stamp. I don't see why not. Yeah, don't see why not. Right, I'm not somebody that challenges myself to reverse stamping. One of these days I might have a go. So we're going to do a little tiny seam here, just a tiny one. I think the only stamp that's not been shown on TV before is this little toadstool. And this is great for lots of the little fairies to sit on. So we're going to pop a little toadstool down here. I'm not worried about it being right at the base of the card. So let's stamp that first. And let's go for, instead of doing black, let's go for acorn, which is a brown. Okay, that looks good. Where's my clean off cloth? It is. Clean off some of the ink. That's our toadstool. That feels a bit And you know, I put the number and the name of the stamp at the top of all of my packaging. And I've got 3 boxes, one for each size of stamp, so I can find them quicker. And it's working really well. I'm really pleased to say. Then we're going to take Olivia. Now, with this particular toadstool, you can have Pixie, Trixie and Dixie jumping off of it. Let's move that over a little bit because I think she's going to have to go off the side a little bit. Yeah, Pixie, Trixie and Dixie are the little kind of tiny little fairies. They can be jumping all over. You can also have Kira sitting on there. You can have the dragon perched on there as well. You know, toadstool's a really good stamp. Unfortunately, I've only got 2 of them in stock. So I shall have to get some more when I do my next order. So we will do her in, let's do her in black. Now, because we're doing her in black, and most of her is not actually on the toadstool, we'll be able to get away with just using her as is. Some of the scenes that you do, if she's leaning on the tree of knowledge or something like that, then it's probably better to fussy cut her out and stick her on top. But this one we'll get away with it. And once again, we're going off the page a little bit, which is absolutely fine. Let's hope that doesn't move. Nope. She looks cool, doesn't she? I think she's stamped very, very well. I'm just gonna, just because I want it slightly darker, I'm just gonna go again, just so we don't see that toadstool coming through her skirt. There we go. Happy with that. Then all we're going to do is bring in the flying dragon. He's going to be coming in to visit. And I do want a sentiment on here. Some of the sentiments that are on the shows, they're not the teeny tiny ones. So let's see what we can get on here. We might be able to get the relax sentiment on. Which is the only one of the 2 book ones that I can get on. Oh, better to have it up the right way. Let's have him up a bit. And outside there like that. That's straight. Let's have a look. Yeah, like so. And we do these in black as well, I think. So again, not many stamps, keeping it simple, lots of white space, just a pop of colour really added from the jelly plate. Good. So I'd probably add again a little bit of colour down here, but I think that's absolutely fine as it is. Maybe I'll chop the top off a little bit, or I could bring in some foliage at the top maybe. I don't know, I think I'll probably leave it like that. Okay, so there's number 2, and we go for the next one. Flying dragon away. And we want to keep the relaxed sentiment out. Book. way? No, that's the right way. Okay. We do a tag next, or a bookmark. So this is one of the tall slimline papers from Fairy Hugs, and I've used one of the Studio Light Oriental tag dies to cut my tag out. I don't have any more of these these dies in stock, and I can't get any more, but I have one of the classic tags left. I do have the papers though. There's a pack of 6 different ones that I've got on my website. So for this one, we are going to take, there's a few different choices on here. I thought we would use, where is it? The Bridge, which is one of the early ones. This is 039, and we're up to, what are we up to now? Well, Relax is one of the latest ones, 323. So Fairy Hugs have been quite prolific. Now, you don't have to do very much at all, the net, which is fabulous, isn't it? So we're just going to take, I mean, we've got no stream going on, we've got hills, but it doesn't really matter, does it? We're just going to take the bridge and pop it about there, I think. So this will be our starting point. And we'll do it in the acorn. There's quite a few stamps that will work with the bridge really well. There's obviously the grass, there's the bulrushes, both of which are on the show, or shows. And these papers, they are actually, it is actually card, lightweight card, and they will take your inks. They're not watercolour, so but direct from pen is will take the watercolour blending brush pens really nicely. So I can hide that bit of land there by colouring that in quite easily. I'm going to make that a little bit darker. Hope it hasn't moved. And you can stamp and emboss on these papers as well. Okay, that's a bit darker, that's better. Okay. That's our bridge. Works very well with the stream scene. That's what it was designed for originally. Which is one of the biggest stamps that Fairy Hugs have done. That's that one. Now I'm thinking that I want to bring in my Skinny Bear Tree tool. There is a Skinny Bear Tree short as well. And we're going to bring that in so it's just over the edge like so. Didn't want that to happen. It's a good job I hadn't just stamped it up really, isn't it? Right, let's put that one there and that one there. Let's see whether those are alright. Yes, they are. We move that up a bit more and we'll bring in another one. We're actually making sure that that's not going anywhere. Make sure it's nice and yeah. Alright, we do that in the acorn again. If you butt your card right the way up to the edge, even if it moves, you can reposition it. I haven't used this stamp. In fact, this is the first time I've used this stamp for these shows. I've used it before, obviously, because it was dirty. Because this was on the one-day special that Leonie did back in January, and it's not been on any of my shows. So this is the first time this stamp has been back on TV since January. Okay, let's see if we lift that. So I've just got the tree coming in because of that line there from the background. I'm going to just stamp it a second time. It didn't move. No, it didn't move. Sometimes you do get a bit of pooling of the ink when a stamp is brand new. So just clean the stamp off and then re-ink, and then it should be absolutely fine. Okay, there we go. That's coming off the side. I know we've got a messy background going on here, but obviously when everything comes off of the platform, you'll be able to see it. That's your Skinny Bear Tree tool. I think that these magnets are really good. I've got this one, which is the Crafts 2 one. These are Vass and Creative, which weren't available for absolutely ages. So I moved over to the Crafts 2 one. I'm not sure where I've got that one from. But these are really good with the tabs on them. So I would recommend those. And I do have those on my website in packs of 2 or packs of 4. So there's our what's it thingies there. So we gotta keep this. I'm thinking that this is probably a bookmark. So, like I say, what we could do is actually let's pull this out again. Thinking about down here, and you know, I said to you about the bulrushes. Bulrushes are quite a nice thing to have. So maybe, maybe not. But what we have got is we've got a heron. Herons like sitting on posts, don't they? So I wonder if we can actually pop this on the post. This was an afterthought. Let's have him sitting up there, shall we? Because they do, don't they? They sit on top of things. They sit on top of houses and wait for the fish in your pond to make a move so that it can swoop down in and get them. I did that on my dad's pond. Naughty herons. Okay, let's just put that there, and let's stamp the heron. And we're staying with the acorn. And let's just stamp him again so he's nice and dark. Okay, so he's on there now. And then there's a number of things that we can do in the moon. What do I do with the heron bits? Over there. That's that bit. Where's the other heron bit? Oh, you know what I'm like. There it is. I like to put them back. Right, that's my heron. So what we could do is, because this is nice to play with, we could bring in somebody like Viola, and we could bring her in. But I'm not actually feeling the love of that, actually. But, you know, she could be in there. And she could be kind of spurting a little bit of the moon dust out of her mitts, like so. So we could be doing that. But because we put the heron on, it's kind of messed that idea up a bit. That's not happening. But we keep with a bit of a nature theme to it. And let's bring in the flying ducks. So we could have the flying ducks going in there like that. And I think I might not put a sentiment on here. I might just finish it with the flying ducks. Because you don't have to have a sentiment on there if you don't want to. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. So I have the flying ducks going in there. that going the right way? Hang on a minute. Yeah, that is the right way. I didn't want to duck upside down. That would be a bit annoying, wouldn't it? You bought one of your, use one of your papers up, and then you stamp your ducks upside down. I should have really stamped in black, seeing as my mat is black, but that doesn't matter. You can't tell. Right, get on there properly. Still with the acorn, because we might as well do everything in the brown. How are we doing for time? Gosh, 3 projects and it's only 11:35. We've done well here. I mean, I know I haven't coloured them in, but that's what takes the time. I mean, I'd only probably colour in the bridge on this one. There's nothing else to colour in really. So you could add, actually, if you wanted this to be a bookmark, there's the wisdom sentiment, and you could add wisdom. Wisdom begins with wonder just there, which would be quite nice. In fact, let's find it. Don't just say, let's do. Because it's not on the show. That's why it's not out. You can see my wonderful filing system. Need more stamps in here. So wisdom. Don't know the number of it though, that's the problem. Wisdom, there we go. See, as they were filed last time, there's no way I would look for them. But now they're filed in an efficient way. So let's pull our ducks out. That way. And put those away. So I know exactly which little envelope they've got to go in now. So proud of myself. Let's hope this fits now. It would, wouldn't it? Just about fits. Now remember, this one isn't on the shows, but we've had it on a few times actually. Kind of fits with the book theme, doesn't it? I think we did have it on the book shows because it went with the books really well. It's like the believe sentiment as well, which is on these shows. Always believe something wonderful is about to happen, or magical, or something like that. Okay, so there's my tag all done. Wisdom, and now we can mat and layer that onto our tag. So obviously if you want to, you can put some baker's twine or some ribbon through it. I don't think that's the right one. There it is, that's the one I want. When I'm doing my tags, I cut out a couple of rings of all of them. And we want that one. That's what we want. So we put that one first. Glue on the back of this. I can colour in the bridge afterwards. It's fine. It doesn't have to be coloured in before I glue it down. Obviously, if you want to ink around the edges, make sure you do that before you put it on your tag. tweezers. Get rid of some of the excess glue. And we'll just slide that in. See if I can get that straight. Careful if you've got these dies, be careful where you're rubbing your finger, because of the way that the dies cut and bevel in. If you run your finger around the very edge, you get a nasty paper cut. Been there, done that. There's our tag. Quite pleased with that. Where's the end of my what's it thingy? There it is. Right, so now let's do a journal page. So our final project is to do lovely, isn't it? Phil isn't on TV tomorrow, Chrissy. I think I said it in my last live as well. He got his dates mixed up. When he said he'd be on TV next weekend, he didn't mean this weekend coming. It's the 17th and the 18th. It's next week that we're doing a one-day special. So yeah, he got totally mixed up, bless him. Right, so that's our tag. So that's project number 3. Now, got a couple of backgrounds here. Which one to use? That's the decision. And what did I do with my stats? I think I might go for the blue one. So, Distress Oxide backgrounds, done that loads of times, drawing with the tubes, misting with ink. You can see those on previous Facebook Lives, so we're not going to do one of those now. I can't remember what this is, what's in the back here. Can't remember. But this one is a lighter one, and this one has got... oh, that's a nice one. I was going to use that one, wasn't I? So this one's got Tattered Rose, Scattered Straw and Victorian Velvet on it, and it's much lighter. So if you don't want to go dark, you don't have to go dark. There's one here, which I haven't put up yet. This is Milled Lavender. What else is it? Let's have a look. Where's the other one? Spun Sugar, Shaded Lilac and Tumbled Glass, and not Milled Lavender at all. So you can go really light with them depending on what colour you choose. So don't think you're always going to have dark colours when you do this technique. So I'm going to go on this though, so because you get two, you get one where you've got the nozzle marks and then you get one without. And I'm going to use this one because I think this one looks quite moody. And I'm feeling moody because I'm not, but I think I'm going to use that one. He's a silly man, isn't he? I saw his post when he said, oh, no Facebook Live this week, and might do one this weekend. I might do one next week, because I'm on the telly next weekend. And I'm thinking, no, you're not. You're really not. Plonker. That's what he is. Bless him. He works too hard. Right, so we're using this wonderful moody background here. So I can't remember what colours they are. They all work. We've probably got some Twisted Citron in there somewhere. I can't remember. Faded Jeans. The dark blue's Faded Jeans, I know that. Right, so let's go for our... So we're making a journal page, but it measures 5 1/4 inches by 7 1/4. So you can easily do it as a... Trim it down a bit, make a 5 by 7 card, or pop it onto an A5 card really easily. So I'm thinking for this one that we're going to have Magoo, who was the latest dragon that we bought out with the books. So we're going to have Magoo, and we're going to have the Tree of Knowledge, and that's going to be over here. I do need to put a bit of grounding going on as well, so we'll do that in a sec. We'll have a little bit of the dragon fruit branches perhaps at the top, and then we're going to bring in our Dixie, and she's going to be just prancing around in the woods. We may or may not bring in one of the other fairies, so we could have, I don't know, normally it's Olivia sitting by the tree, but we could have Kira sitting by the tree, and then Dixie kind of pouncing around as she does. Might put a sentiment on here, we'll see. Might bring the wisdom in again, I don't know, because I can. Right, so let's do a bit of, we have some grounding work going on, because otherwise they're just going to be floating on nothing. So let's take this out of here again, and goodness knows what I've done with my my stencils to do my grounding bits. So I've had to resort to tearing bits of card and making my own hills. Got some big hills, little hills. This one I'll do. So, like so. So, let's find a blending brush, or a big one, and let's find a green. Got any greens out? No. Let's go for quite a dark one. Let's go for pine needles. Or we could go for a grey. Well, let's go pine needles because it's out. Don't need one that big. Where is everybody this morning? I don't know. It's a good job I'm having a lovely time, isn't it? Playing with my fairy hooks. As per. We can't really see anything yet. It'll all be revealed when I take the mask away. And I've done watercolour card because it's a little bit more robust than using copy paper, and I didn't want to waste my really good card. So if we move that now, we've got a bit of grounding going on. I mean, we can give it a little bit more interest by perhaps taking another one. And then going again, and then this will be darker than the one in the background. You can tell I'm really impatient with the blending brushes. Remember, if you're going to use these on another colour, clean them off. I normally just clean them off onto some kitchen roll, or you can go through a stencil to clean them off. That's quite a good use of your excess ink, is going through another stencil. So you can see we've got some darker patches coming through here. Right, that's that one. I have a few small distress inks in stock, and I've got the big ones, regular distress in stock as well. Gradually putting those all back in stock again. I'll do the oxides and the rinkers as well. You can order the oxides, but they're on special order, most of them. Although I did manage to get some mustard seed the other day, so I nabbed those, so I hadn't got mustard seed. Right, let's go back into our platform and start doing our little scene that we're doing. So we'll pop Magoo in first because I want to get most of him in. And because it's quite a big piece of card, we want to make sure that everything's stamped properly. Where's the other one? There's Magoo. She is, isn't it? Hope she's okay. Maybe she's shopping or something. Okay, so again, not worried if we lose a little bit of him. And just secure that down the bottom like that. And let's stamp him. We'll go for black because we've got quite a dark background. So we're with our Nocturne. Don't don't think I've ever had so few people watching a Facebook Live. It must be the time of year. People are busy. Panicking about next week, perhaps. Good old press. I will need to do him twice because again he's a silhouette. It comes to life as soon as you put one of your images on your background, everything kind of pops and comes to life. It is quite magical, actually, I think. I know it's the kind of type of image that you're dealing with, but it is quite a magical process. It's also a very relaxing process. I love working with my fairy hook stamps, as I've said many times before. Give him a good press on his body and on his tail where the silhouette elements are. He's got fabulous eyelashes to die for, really. What are you saying? I missed that. Let's have a look. Did you have snow, Chrissy, last week? Because obviously I can't, as my mum's not here anymore, I can't ask her whether there's been snow up there. We had just light sprinkling a couple of days, but Milton Keynes is very, very sheltered, so we don't get very much of it, which is quite lovely, actually. White Christmas. I remember seeing photographs of snow piled up against the back door. So I need to move this around because I want to go with my tree of knowledge. I want to hang it off of the edge. So we're going to move it around so that I can get my card butt up to the edge here, right into that corner. So I can then go off of the edge with my tree of knowledge. Not too much. Good, I'm glad you didn't have too much. Right, let's think how we're going to have it. I don't want it right off. Let's have it there. Oh, move it with my finger. Right, so let's put another magnet there. Oh, little die cuts. You didn't see those. Not that I'll tell you very much anyway. Right, let's get our tree of knowledge done. Again, just sticking with the black, unless I make a mistake and pick up the wrong one. This is just such a fabulous idea, this particular stamp. It's been so popular. Inky fingers. Where's my bit of cloth? There it is. We do occasionally hear seagulls, actually. Yeah. I can't say as I've heard them as much over the last couple of years because I've not been out much. I've not been into the city centre very often. But yeah, I think we do get them. Right. I think that moved. Oh. You know what? I'm not going to go again with that because it's stamped really, really well. And because I'll colour it in anyway, I'm not going to go again with that, just in case, because it did move. I know I'm butt up to the edge, but I'm just not going to risk it. Just, it does look fabulous if you just add a little bit of colour to it. You know, bring in the colours of your backgrounds into your books. It's quite a nice thing to do. And I use the Sentimental Yours watercolour blending pens for all of the extra colour that I add to my images, because it works so well. And incidentally, the background is the Sentimental Yours Super Smooth watercolour card, as always. It's the only thing I use for my backgrounds. I tend to use it all the time. So now we're going to get, we know we want to bring in our little fairy wherever I've put her. Oh, where's she gone? Kira, where are you? Don't tell me I've lost the one I've cut out. Probably, hopefully I've got another one. Yeah, I might have just put her back. I probably did. Yeah, because I've got two in there. Phew. Right, so she's going to be sat under the tree reading, because it's the best thing to do in the world. And then Dixie is going to be playing around here, annoying the dragon, because the dragon wants to listen to the story that Kira's telling, and the little fairy, the little tyke, is playing up, because she does. And we can probably, let's stamp her first. Don't lose that. Right. We're going to get these 4 projects finished in an hour. Well, aside from the colouring, of course. It's not bad, is it? Not bad at all. I'm not sure if I'll make a post office run today, because I'll be colouring in this afternoon, but we'll see. No rest for the wicked. Don't move. I'm going to go a little bit darker. Okay. There's our Dixie. I don't know where Pixie and Trixie are. She's obviously escaped wherever they're doing, cause mayhem somewhere else. Where's her little thing? There it is. There's Dixie. That is just a case of, if we want to put a sentiment in here, we could do. Because the relax would fit very nicely just in that central bit, I think. And it's very appropriate. Straight ish. Everything's ish. You can find magic wherever you look. Sit back and relax. All you need is a book. You're not the first person to say that to me, Chrissy. Maybe when I retire or semi-retire, we'll see. Right, so I think we want to just have that, use that dragon fruit branch. So let's move it, let's keep it in the press, but just move it down a bit. Just in case I don't stamp it very well. So we bring the dragon fruit branch in here, like so. As we are talking dragons, we'll have the fruit branch. And this is an older one, this is 90. I think this might have been one of the ones that Leonie had on the one day special in January as well, actually. Oh, sorry, camera. Let's just put that just so, like so. And then we'll stamp that. Still sticking with the black. Ooh, didn't quite manage the hour. Where did that last 10 minutes go? They were like TV minutes. Disappeared. That's pretty good. Let's just stamp it once more just to make sure it didn't move, thankfully. Okay, here's our composition done. Put that away in a moment. So, all I would do would be to take my journal. Obviously colour that in, ink around the edges. Probably bring in pine needles that I've used on the bottom, and then you can put that into our journal, and obviously bring in, wanted to colouring Kira a bit and bring her in, and she'll be sat there like so. Works, doesn't it? Right, so we've done the journal page, we've done a tag, we've got a card here that I think I probably will just chop a little bit off the front, and we've also got the very first card that we did here as well with Zuli on it. So 4 projects, just over an hour. It's not too bad, is it? I will finish them off and I'll upload the video to YouTube. So don't forget, Fairy Hugs is on the craft store tomorrow at 9 AM and 1 PM with Hayley, and you can get, and if you want to have any of the stamps, you need to order from the craft store tomorrow, or you can get them from my website at any point. That's juliawattscrafts.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me. The few of you that did, it's really nice that you actually spent some time with me, and I will catch you on the telly box tomorrow. Bye.